What is up, everybody? It's your boy CrazeBase98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community. Here we are again with another amazing interview, but this time we are here with a good friend of mine and as someone who is really good at producing music. My friend MYRE.
Hey everybody.
There you go. There's MYRE right there. He has done amazing work, like amazing songs that are like posted at the moment on his SoundCloud, which in the description you have a link to it, and you will listen to amazing songs such as Falling, Stargazer, and an amazing mix to Slow Dancing in the Dark by Joji, made all by MYRE. And with that, make sure to watch out for his brand new album coming pretty soon, and it will be available for whenever it comes out. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to have this interview with me. I'm very excited to have this interview, to have you to be the special guest. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, so let's go down like a little bit of like how we met. Me and you were actually neighbors. You lived right next to me, and we went to the same school, Full Sail.
Full Sail University, yep.
Yeah, and what made me cling to you was the fact that you had a major artistic talent when it comes to music, and then we like video games. We liked like Assassin's Creed, and we played League of Legends here and there. You even saw me rage a lot in League of Legends. So
Yeah, definitely.
that was one of those things. So I always wanted to know, while we're out there, what was it, that drew you to music? What was it that gave you that passion to want to go ahead and do things like, music, like make your own like beats or make your own type of music in general?
I don't think I really had a choice in the matter. Ever since I was little, my mom would wake me up with System of a Down or Evanescence, and I grew up really loving playing music. My biological father got me a electric bass when I was 8 years old, and I had been playing that since, ever since I can remember. And I studied classical upright bass and cello and violin for a while in high school, and music has just always been a big part of me, so I stuck with it.
Okay, so like what draw you? Because I believe your actual degree in Full Sail was to be audio engineer. Am I correct?
I started out doing audio engineering classes, and then they brought music production classes to the campus. So I switched halfway through.
Okay, so your degree is in music production.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do still have that little dip in the audio engineering area as well.
Yeah, I could do everything that they could do, I'm sure.
Oh, okay, so that's good. And with that, you mentioned things like Evanescence, System of the Down. Like, was it those type of those bands that went ahead and inspired you to do music, or was it like any type of specific artist, specific groups like in hip hop, rock, anything? What like let's just start off with the artists. Like what artist or band inspired you the most?
Inspired me to make music the most would probably be Dylan Francis. He started off like a graffiti artist, and he was just a big old goofball, and he started producing music with one of his friends. He just took a whole year, taught himself how to make music, and blew up real quick just because of his personality. I like him for like how real his story is, but for music itself, there's an artist from Australia called Wave Racer. His music is just so revolutionary that I kind of hopped on the future bass train because of him.
Okay, so like, can you like even remember like some of your favorite songs from those artists that you just named? Like your favorite songs that like sometimes you could play over and over or inspired you?
Oh man, it seems like everything by Wave Racer, but Flash Drive was the first song I heard by him. And Dylan Francis, um, Without You is a really good song, and his cover of Passion Pit, I think it's called Carried Away. Both of those are very like out of his normal type of music, but they're still so pretty.
Okay, so like you have like specific songs, and you said mostly everything a Wave Racer. So
Yeah, he's really good. He's hasn't done too much, and he doesn't have that big of a following, but man, he's really good.
oh, no, I'll definitely probably have to take a listen to him sometime. But what is like also like some favorite albums of your of those characters or those people, you know, like what's the album that you mostly like for instance for me, like it would be like Metallica would be Master of Puppets, but what would your favorite album be of those actual artists?
For Dylan Francis specifically, it's this mixtape is fire. And for Wave Racer, his flash drive album had all of the songs that like really influenced me to start making music.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now with your musical talents, you stated things like in regards to learning electric bass, and you said cello as well, right?
Yeah, I started off very classical.
Okay, so like did you have like any type of other instruments that you would play, or any type of like, you know, other excuse me, music talents, like, you know, were you a singer, were you a rapper, did you do like anything of like, you know, jazz music, rock music, what were other talents and other instruments that you played?
Actually, everything you asked, yes. I was in the jazz band in my high school. I was a vocalist and a bassist for a couple rock bands before I graduated high school. I didn't really switch to making electronic music until I graduated high school and started messing around with GarageBand, and then I upgraded to Logic, and then I upgraded to Ableton. I've just been like on a path of constant growth ever since I started playing music.
Yeah, like especially like some of the music that you showed me when you were here, like when I listened to it, it was absolutely amazing. I heard a lot of like, you know, inspiration for that, and especially now, like especially like when I hear things like Stargazer and Falling, like one with Falling, I feel very relaxed, and Stargazer, I feel like something that I could play like during like, you know, a very like a space video game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yes.
I started making electronic music like as a duo with another guy, and he was really educated as far as like mixing and stuff goes. So I got a lot of tips and tricks from him, but he hasn't really kept up with performing or playing or making music. So I had to like go on my own direction with my music, and we kind of parted ways a few years ago.
Oh, okay. That well, at one point you actually just got like a little like, once again, you dipped your hands in a genre that like a lot of people wouldn't. Like you said electronic music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like me, I was mostly rock music for me. So I went and dipped myself into electronic music. But um with music, as you said, like music definitely has a major I would say a major part in things such as game creation, you know, movies, even shows. Um
Absolutely.
so would you say that, you know, when it comes to major things like, you know, actually making like, let's say like like in a show, like the music for suspense, or even for like a specific plot twist within a video game, do you think that music is a major reason that shows a lot of, I would say, emotion towards a game or movie?
Yeah, there are videos on the internet of people replacing the music from a horror movie with like some happier music, and it really changes the whole vibe of the scene. And I feel the same way about video games. Like imagine Halo, the ending scene without the really long epic rap anthem that they do.
Hmm.
It just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, especially with me, I like the Marnier mix, like, you know, especially from Halo 2, and
Mm-hmm.
it brought major, and that's considered one of the most, I would say, the most memorable songs of all time. But when it comes to also music in like movies or games, do you have any type of specific OST or like any type of theme from a show that you like, or like any type of theme or any type of soundtrack from a video game that is one of your favorites?
Man, Dal and I were just talking about this, and I'm so envious of all of the music producers at Nintendo. Everything they release for all of their video games is so catchy and so like subtly complex that they're just killing it. Them and Nobuo Uematsu with all the Final Fantasy games, their music, the Japanese are just killing it for video game music for real.
Yeah, especially with Nobuo Uematsu, the Sephiroth theme.
Yeah,
Where
that is to me the most recognizable song in any video game.
yeah, even himself, he would say, "Oh, there's never a time when we do a Final Fantasy thing we cannot not do the Sephiroth
The
theme."
One Winged Angel, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. What like the original and then the Advent Children version of it was absolutely amazing.
yes, it was.
But as you mentioned, all these type of businesses, not just like in the movies and the games and like in certain other areas. What is specifically your goal? Like do you plan on like doing things like working for a music business, or well, you actually do at the moment, or do you plan on probably doing one of your own in the future? Like what where would your goal be on that area?
I feel like my goals are constantly evolving with how well I make music. I had always wanted to be on a record label, and this June I got signed to a record label. So now I'm setting my sights even higher, like maybe trying to get on a bigger record label like Atlantic or Sony. Maybe one day owning my own record label because it seems like a really good way to inspire the next generation of musicians. But as for right now, I'm just sticking with Ultra Rave Records and trying to put out the best music that I can until I make the next step in my music career.
Yeah, shout out to Ultra Wave. It was a competition that actually
It was.
led to your actual signing into that business, and
Hmm.
it was actually an amazing beat that you actually put out there. And when you won that, I had called you. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
awesomeness. Like it was me. It was a lot of people that were so happy. I was happy to hear that you got signed to that label. And
It was really unexpected, and I'm really happy that it happened. All the guys on the music label are very supportive and really talented.
oh, that's great to hear. Shouts out to them. But let me ask, with you have all these labels working with high names.
Hmm.
High, like big stars, like you sometimes have, like especially now you have like people like Cardi B, yeah, people like even still doing their own things, like Jennifer Lopez, like Beyonce, different types of people like Joji, Billie Eilish. um who would you love to work with the most? Like who is the person that you want to have a goal to work with?
Um, I really was a big fan of Alessia Cara. I'm not sure what she's been doing with her music recently, but I like her personality and like the timbre of her voice. I think if anybody, I would want to connect with her and see what kind of music we could make together.
Oh, that's great. So like if you do things like in regards to like if you get a call like for like big names like let's say let's say Eminem. Let's say Eminem or like top rappers, would you take that chance to be able to work with them?
Most definitely. I'm used to working with rap vocals and rap beats and stuff like that because Danny, my little brother, he was a touring artist on the East Coast for a little while, and it's such a good time. It's not all about the music at that point when you're touring. It's really about the vibes that you're giving off and the ability to catch the crowd and keep them with you.
Oh, okay. So like is like especially with touring, like is the thrill coming from like just like not just performing in front of them but actually having the crowd like I would say like performing with you. Like some people have like it's like a sense of like people singing the lyrics back or dancing or jumping to the music. Is that where the thrill of the actual touring comes like comes from?
Definitely. I would say that the appeal of touring is the immediate feedback from the crowd, and also the fact that the label that signs you to do those tours doesn't get most of the money, opposed to like record labels and or record deals and stuff. They give you a loan to make the record, but you have to pay back all that money that they give you. Whereas tours, it's all that money is just yours.
Okay, that sounds actually pretty fun now. Um, now you have, especially when I hear some of your music, I hear a lot of inspirations from like sometimes groups from the past, like I would say like like Wu-Tang.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we have new groups now like Migos.
Hmm.
So I want your opinion on this, especially. Do you feel like there is a major difference with the music back then to the music in the present, based on like not just beats but also lyrics and I would say skill or possibly like talent?
Most definitely. I feel like this is an era of fast food music where like big artists will just like keep popping out singles, and it's less about the collective art and more about I can make this really catchy song and it'll blow up. But after that, I'm not really worried about like how you guys see me. And I think it was better, there was more camaraderie back in the day in among musicians and stuff. But now it's really money based, and I'm trying to get it back to being more about the art than the money. But you can't really do that if you're not getting paid.
And that is a fair point. Sometimes in certain areas the actual foundation, especially like with the money, is a major thing. But I also bring this up because I do listen to like some old school rap music, and I listen to the rap now, and sometimes I feel like as if the rap now does not have the certain substance as the rap back then, because I feel as if the rap back then was actually more about the story and actually brought out things such as similes and metaphors, like in regards to like poetry. Do you think that right now like some things like rap music is missing that?
I really think it depends on who you're listening to. There are still rappers out there that are telling a story and are trying to change things with their lyrics, but the most of the big rappers I hear nowadays are just putting out that fast food music.
Oh, okay. So like the fast food music, like you consider like artists, I would say, such as would you say like Lil Yachty, like Migos, and other artists similar to their styles?
Yeah, Lil Pump, pretty much everybody nowadays, but like there are still pretty big rappers with not as big followings. They're still trying to incorporate the poetry and the storytelling aspects behind their rap.
Yeah, like I would say a good storyteller, especially that is mainstream, I would say is Logic. I think
Oh yeah,
Logic's
and
amazing.
NF as well. Both of those like Midwest rappers, they're still putting their soul into it. But you can tell they haven't blown up as much as like Migos or Cardi B and stuff like that. People just aren't interested in hearing people's stories right now. I think that's gonna change in the 2020s. Um, Music tends to ebb and flow with the decades, so I think we're moving back into a more artistic phase of music. I think you'll be hearing more poetry and storytelling from them.
Okay, so that does make sense, especially with some of the people now that I do hear some of the actual stories being done.
Hmm.
But with some of these artists and some of these people who do like music production, audio engineering, sometimes getting into the business is the most difficult part.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so my opinion, my not opinion, my question is, what do you think, especially as being someone who is a music producer, what do you think is more difficult, getting into the music business or working into the music business? And I mean like working inside the business itself.
Well, it's actually Dal told me something recently that had me thinking a lot. It says that luck and chance has a lot more to do with um, making it in pretty much anything than the amount of talent or work. And we've come to the conclusion that it's about 50-50. If you don't have the chances to put out your talent, then you're never going to go anywhere. But if you don't have the talent to back up the chances you get, then you're not really going to make it as much.
Okay, that definitely makes sense. I definitely do agree with that. I asked that question because a lot of people take, I know I have a hard time getting into the music business, especially like some people who are local artists, some people who try to make their own actual music and have an issue with going either into the business or getting into the business. like a couple of artists that take shots at the mainstream and take shots at the businesses. Do you believe that especially some of the music, especially that some artists do, have somewhat of a major part of why they are not getting into the business?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with what the audience of the record label that you're trying to get into is looking for. Ironically, my record label puts out like very UK type house music or techno music and stuff like that, but they like me because I'm different. And I wouldn't say that happens very often. It's just kind of a fluke for me, I feel like. Uh, but if you are trying to get into the industry and you're finding it difficult, I would follow all of the record labels. I would try to follow all of the A&R reps that you know, and they will have like artist submissions on these days, or they'll have competitions to get noticed on other days. It's really about like how much you want it and what you will be willing to do to get into it. That's why it's hard, because if you're not following these people, then you would never know to submit to those people.
Okay, that's definitely makes sense on that. But like, do you have any type of, I would say, any type of advice for like upcoming artists or music producers, like something that that you followed, like any type of I would say inspiration that you followed during like your still ongoing journey to get where you're at? Like, is there anything you could give to those people that want to do what you want to do?
Absolutely. Show your music to everybody and take feedback literally. If your audience is not feeling what you're putting out, then you're going to have to work on yourself. And it's just a continuous lane of growth that you're going to have to be in to keep up with how music changes. Other than that, like, if you're putting out stuff that everybody loves, eventually you're going to get noticed.
That is definitely true. That's some actual really good words to give to some people. And other people also do things like trying to get into the gaming industry with their music. So if you had a choice right now, because I heard that you like music from Nintendo or Final Fantasy, if they gave you a chance to do an actual soundtrack for a video game or a company, what would be your choice? I would say I'll give you a top three, at least a top three, because for me, I can't choose one company to work for if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So like a top three of companies that you would probably want to work for in the gaming industry to do music for them.
Barring my style of music, because I'm all over the place, I think I would love to work for Bethesda as one of those top three companies, or Square Enix, or Nintendo. I mean, if I was good enough to work for any of those companies, I would be able to like work with the people who are making all this music that I think is so fantastic, and I would definitely pick up more tools in my arsenal for music production. And I think that's why I would want to work for those companies, so I could like have access to the artists that are already working for them.
Okay, that sounds really good. That sounds like actually a great choice. For me, I would be right in Nintendo if I could, like right on the
Yeah,
spot, especially for some of the soundtracks that I hear, like from Mario, even from Zelda, and
yeah,
and that's
very iconic soundtracks.
yeah, exactly. Especially for me, it was Big Bell Hill from
Mm,
Mario.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, thank you very much for having this interview with me. I appreciate it that you took the time to have this nice interview with me. I thank you very much.
Anytime, it was very nice. I just want to leave the people with some knowledge and a little teaser at the end of this. My album is coming out the end of October, early November, and I will be releasing updates as soon as I get information from my label.
Definitely, definitely. I'll definitely watch out for that album so I can go ahead and take a listen to some of the stuff that you got. And especially when that comes out, make sure to go ahead and make a nice purchase for that album. That especially with some of the music that I hear from MYRE. It's definitely great music on that album. And I will be leaving, once again, a link into the description to his SoundCloud so you can listen to some of his tracks. And also, you know, you could go ahead and I believe you will give the updates pretty soon on another website. And
Spotify, iTunes. There's a few other websites. I just don't subscribe to them.
okay, no problem, definitely. And then I'll update those when you can when you got them all set for you and everything.
Cool.
So but thank you guys very much. You know, definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel, and thank you for watching this actual interview. Also, I'd just like to make a quick announcement. If you are a content creator and you do things such as music, artwork, if you are a streamer, if you are a YouTuber as well, by all means join our Discord channel and share your content. We want to see a lot more creators out there, and we want people to start collabing and showing off what they're good at. So thank you very much. This is, you know, CrazyMaze98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community. And thank you, MYRE, very much for joining us today.
No problem.
And we're gonna leave you with this little preview of his. And remember that there is always something amazing on the horizon.